The Tower of Wisdom. A bird perches on a small rock near the tower in the middle of a desert. In the background there are mountains. Karnak sits cross-legged in a green hooded jacket in front of a large stone. A tower acolyte appears in the entryway to the room. Magister, the infernal device is calling. 4 hooded acolytes help open a massive door. Beyond the door, Karnak approaches a radio handset placed on the top of a stone. He answers the call. I am Karnak. Just outside the tower, Karnak addresses a half-dozen acolytes. Friends, I must again leave you for a while to engage the human world and secure our own future. While I am gone, consider the stone cairns on the ground floor of our tower. Consider the stones as the visible manifestations of blind time. The stones cannot perceive us in any way. In 100 generations of human life, they only grow more perfect. The stones matter more to the universe than you do. Even to a stone, you are nothing. A shield Quinjet is seen overhead and begins to land. And remember to clean the latrines. Svalbard, the Arctic. The Quinjet lands at an isolated outpost. Agent Coulson and another agent are waiting at the landing pad. Aren't you cold, Phil? Yes. Listen, Simmons. This guy's pretty squirrely. Did the whole die and come back to life thing. And he wasn't a party guy before that. You call him Magister Karnak. Try not to smile. Why? Why what? Both. Magister is apparently the inhuman name for high priest or top philosopher guy or something. And he registers smiling as an insult. Follow my lead. Magister Karnak, thank you for agreeing to see us. I hope your journey was acceptably peaceful. You are always cleverly respectful, Agent Coulson. Thank you. If you will take me to the aggrieved parties. The agents follow Karnak away from the landing pad. I think he just smiled then. What does that mean? It means he was insulting me. Where are we, Agent Coulson? One of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s older substations. We've had some security issues lately, so we're reviving some places off the grid. I meant the geographical location. Svalbard, the Arctic Ocean. Ah. Adelon, the seat of inhumanity, was once located in the North Atlantic. It was a little like this. Bleak. Isolated. Cold. It is pleasing to me. They enter a room where a couple is sitting at a large table. Several S.H.I.E.L.D. agents stand around the table. Magister Karnak, this is William and Sarah Roderick. Their son Adam fell victim to the Terrigen mists following the destruction of Adelon and underwent Terrigenesis. I can comprehend the relative difficulty of your lives. Thank you? What was the nature of his transformation? His allergies went away. Adam didn't show any, what would you call them, powers, I suppose. He didn't really change, he just got healthier. But he did get more depressed afterwards, and more violent. He just didn't get anything from the Terrigen other than he stopped sneezing and could eat peanuts. Adam has had difficulty adjusting to his new condition. From what Mr. and Mrs. Roderick have told us, it's fair to say that he's unstable. More to the point, he was abducted last week. We want the boy recovered and rehabilitated. You've worked with Terrigen victims before. The strain of the change and the stress of the abduction means he'll need significant help. As per our previous arrangements, S.H.I.E.L.D. is entirely ready to provide more funding to your philosophical foundation in return for your aid. I see. The child will become a friend of the Tower of Wisdom, and will only be released back into your society when I deem fit. This is a rule. The recovery will cost $1 million. This will go towards continued construction and support for the Tower of Wisdom. We can agree to that. For the work with your son, I have an additional fee. My payment is the single thing that allows you to believe that the universe is a kind and beautiful place. The single thing, the object of most uplifting emotional value. I will accept only that. May I see you outside, Magister? Agent Coulson joins Karnak in the corridor outside the room. Why did you do that? A lesson. I am a teacher. And what's the lesson you're teaching by hurting and humiliating those people? That humans are no more important than objects, and that both humans and objects are meaningless. They may lose their son. They may lose their favorite object. They will still be alive tomorrow. Neither thing matters to the universe. Never forget who I am. I am Karnak of the Inhumans. I am Magister of the Tower of Wisdom. Love is for less disciplined minds that need to believe in a softer world. Who has the boy? IDIC, International Data Integration and Control, an old splinter group from Advanced Idea Mechanics. And AIM tried to abduct Terrigen cocoons during the original outbreak. Is there a reason why you cannot find the boy yourselves? You shouldn't require a poor hermit philosopher to do that kind of work. Acting as pursuit predators on your own species is really all you do. We're not sure where he is, and we can't legally go in. There are people insisting that human laws only apply to humans. Currently, some of our legal powers are removed if we're dealing with Homo sapiens and Humanus. In this scenario, we can allow you to retrieve the kid, but we can't assist. That is insane, even for you people. Hey, the whole situation could change in a month. It's all politics. But right now, this is what we've got. We still provide support for Terrigen victims, and we thought IDIC were a defunct operation. How did you learn that this IDIC was responsible? They claimed responsibility. Sent the video directly into SHIELD Central Operations via untraceable routing. We're only meeting out here because they seem to have hooks into our substation systems. We have a whole department trying to discover how they've been shadowing us. Data, integration, control. Karnak walks back into the room. You, disarm yourself and stand away. The agent Karnak is addressing pulls out their sidearm and goes to shoot at Karnak. Karnak raises his arm and points his hand upwards, his index and middle fingers together as if pretending his hand is a gun. We see the bullet fired from the gun, the muzzle flash, and the cartridge ejected as if in slow motion. Karnak extends his arm, fingers pointed toward the bullet. The bullet splits in two as it collides with his fingers. Moments later, the agent's shoulder bursts as if there was a small explosion. Is there anyone left at SHIELD who actually only works for SHIELD? How did you know? He smiled. Karnak is placing his index and middle finger together at various points on the agent's body. I'm not going to tell you my name, so I don't care about your name. Names are not important. You are not important. I want to know what kind of thing you are. And if that is too difficult a thing for you to confess, you will give me the location of IDIC. Your liver just ruptured. You will give me the location of IDIC. My curse is that I see the flaw in all things. Systems, philosophies, structures, people, everything. The bullet you fired at me was flawed simply by the act of being fired. You were flawed by being born. You will give me the location of IDIC. Karnak touches his knee and it ruptures. Please, I was tasked by the Berlin cell. Please help me. Karnak goes to place his fingers to the man's head and Agent Coulson intervenes, grabbing Karnak's wrist. He needs medical help. Simmons is bringing the paramedics. Fine. Waste your medicines. Then get me the location of this Berlin cell and have me transported there. Berlin cell? If IDIC has gone to a clandestine cell system, we're in more trouble than we thought. Why didn't you start with the leg, instead of just destroying his liver, I mean? I once made a study of your art of cinema. A apparently one starts with the attention-grabbing scene before progressing the plot. Agent Coulson, my bloodline, the philosophers of the Tower of Wisdom, have been aiding those who have endured Terrigenesis for generations. I will find this child, and I will work with him. I will aid you in circumventing your idiot laws to recover him and destroy this IDIC. But never stay my hand again. Berlin, nighttime. A warehouse sits behind a fence in an industrial area. Karnak approaches a large metal door at the loading dock. Karnak readies a strike and smashes a hole in the door. The door and part of the surrounding wall come down. Agents in respirator masks look up, startled. Karnak leaps through the opening and begins going to work on the IDIC agents. One hand smashes through the chest of an agent, while his other hand cuts off the head of another agent. His kick breaks the barrel of another agent's gun.